Good evening, fiends. Welcome to another episode of Sinister Parlor Podcast. I'm Zombie Barbie with my always awesome, amazing, and incredible co-host, the one and only Bud Vino.
Oh, Rhiannon, Nicole, and Bud Vino, the dynamic duo. Here we are, Rhiannon, back again, almost 2 months. Wow, Rhiannon, we've been gone for so long. But when we come back, as I said in the header for the show that we posted on Facebook, we come back with a bang! Because we've got one of the greats on tonight, Rhiannon. If you would rise, please, for the one and the only Miss Deborah Voorhees. Deb, how are you?
I'm terrific. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Bud's been dying to get you on. We have to get her. And it's just never correlated, but man, he's been so
I have. Yes, I have. I felt it was so victorious. I finally had to grovel to, that's what actually got Deb finally. I said, Deb, I'm just going to level with you. I love you. It's been like 6 years since I interviewed you. I was just starting. I really want to show you what I can do because it's going to be, it was great the first time. And she finally got her to feel so bad for me. She said, but if I'll make you a deal. If you shut up, I will come on. You promise? You promise. You're a man of your word, you say. So shut up now. Not another word. Just say yes or no. No more, don't filibuster. Just so
okay,
I did.
I was going to say, you're fibbing here.
Right. So, Deb, again, as Rhiannon said, thank you so much in all seriousness. I love you, and thank you for coming on. This is an awesome honor.
You bet. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Mm-hmm.
So, recently, the newest thing that, and this is what I've been really familiar with as well, Bud knows everything that you've been in and that you've done and that you've produced, and but 13 Fanboy, it is blowing up everywhere. It's all over the place.
Thank you. I'm so happy about that.
That's awesome.
As you should be, Deb. When you were conceptualizing 13 Fanboys when I first interviewed you a while ago, which I feel very honored because I've been able to see everything come to fruition in such a beautiful way. And to see it done now and just out there, and I know everything that was involved, including the pandemic, how hard you all worked. And the amount of people you had in it, I don't think people realize, to coordinate all that, especially through everything and all the people and everything, to get it together, and it's done, and I congratulate you.
Thank you.
Because it's incredible.
A huge undertaking doing a film, and especially one with a cast this size and multiple locations. And we shot in a little town called Ruidoso, New Mexico, and we're getting people from all over the country and having to bring them in. And here, the closest airport really is Albuquerque. There is one in El Paso and one in Roswell, but they're not as easy. So, the logistics on it was really something. But, I'm thrilled that it's out. I'm completely honored to have worked with all the people I did, from Dee Wallace to Kane Hodder to CJ Graham and Judy Aronson, Ron Sloan, Jennifer Banco. I guess I'll count myself.
Yeah, you too. And
Mark Lincoln. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know Judy Aronson. Who am I missing? Tori Feldman,
Haley Greenbauer,
J. Graham, and then some of the newbies, Haley Greenbauer and Vincent DeSante. And Andrew Leotti.
Yes.
My eye
hike alone, right?
Andrew and Vincent were the eye candy for the ladies and the gay men.
Well, both of those guys, it's awesome to see them in it too, because they're both such cool guys too, very supportive guys too.
Yeah.
So, and my list was about the same as yours too, in terms of the people that were on there. And it was so cool for someone like me, as you know, Deb, who's such a fan, to see these people like Laura Park Lincoln from Seven, Jennifer Banco, which was awesome for her, also played Tina, just younger Tina.
Right.
Kane Hodder, and as you mentioned, Ron Sloan, who's a friend of Tracy Savage. Yes, you did miss her. Yes, you did. Tracy, that was my problem. Deb had remembered it. I talked right over there. CJ Graham, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
So many icons.
I know.
Oh, ridiculous.
Iconic names.
They're just huge in the horror world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's really cool. Like I was going to say, someone like Ron Sloan that you only saw in that one dimension. You know, that one. He's got some range, so it's nice.
Dee Wallace, right? Our leading lady.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
we were
Cujo,
Yeah.
Hills Have Eyes,
Yeah.
Critters, E.T. I mean, just to name the
Halloween,
small pictures.
Cujo, yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just incredible.
Yeah, Jennifer Banco, and again, Kate Hodder, who was in 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really cool to see the whole blend. So for those few who might not have seen 13 Fanboy, go out and check out Deborah Voorhees and all the people that we mentioned, the aforementioned people. And you're in for a ride, Deb, because it is a hell of a concept that plays out perfectly on screen.
Thank you. I love doing all the twists and turns, and the horror kills were a lot of fun. We did lose a couple of horror kills that I really wanted to do. We had 2 really good special effects people on set for practical effects. And one was Nora Hewitt, and she did the first round, and then worked with Meg Wilbur to do for the second round. Meg Wilbur, Nora wasn't able to get back on set at the same time we were, so she said Meg was somebody really good, and so that's what we went with. And she was robbed the night before heading out, and it had some of our prosthetics in it.
Oh no!
So we missed out on a few kills that we really wanted, but I think we still had some great ones.
What
We had
what
to
is that?
make a little more.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, I was thinking when you were talking about practical effects, I was thinking about Eric Horn, who we had on.
Oh yeah.
That's if you're familiar with Eric. Didn't he talk about, or was it Eric, or was it Todd Jenkins talked about people stealing prosthetics and rubber penises and different
Todd
things
Jenkins.
off set? Yeah, is that a thing where people steal prosthetics off set? I mean, is that a
Well,
new-
I mean, this was in her car, but
Oh.
she lives in LA.
Oh.
And so my guess is, because there's a lot of people in the business, they're like looking at this and like going, "Oh, they knew it was a gold mine."
Yeah.
Come on.
Or else they'd be going, "I don't think I want that." I can't imagine anybody not knowing what they were, why they would go and steal it. So,
Mhm.
Well,
we missed out on a couple of them, but overall, I'm still really happy with what we had.
Well, Deb, Rhiannon and I are practitioners of law of attraction. I firmly believe that in karma. I mean, I do. So again, that's a beautiful thing to think about. So, Deb, I have to ask you, and I was going to ask you this later, but what's in the works right now? What do you have going on in the pipeline? I know you're always staying busy.
Right, I am. I'm really in development on a couple different ideas, which means that I'm still kind of tossing it around. We're kind of building a storyline, see if we have enough there to make it work. I would really love to do a ghost story next. I love ghost stories. They scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I love creature features, and I'll jump and I'll get scared and everything, but not once I turn it off, I'm not afraid the monster's behind me.
Yeah.
With the ghost, I'm not as sure. Sometimes during the day I'm like going, yeah, there's no such thing as ghosts, but that saying, at nighttime I sometimes get a little more open-minded.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see,
It's
the
stuff that can
ghosts
happen.
you can convince yourself.
I've had
those.
some weird things happen. I don't know how else to explain.
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we go ahead. Rita.
Oh no, you go ahead.
No. I go enough.
Delayed,
I-
so it's like wait. I started
Right.
watching this show called Paranormal 911, and so it's about like the
Oh.
first responders that get called out for these calls, not knowing what's going on, and ends up being paranormal stuff, and it's crazy, and it's people that aren't believers, and then they're like,
Really?
after that, I believe it, and it's crazy.
Right.
shit. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
I'm gonna check that out. Paranormal 911.
911.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Discovery Plus, so if you have Prime, it's on there, but I am
Okay.
addicted. They're good. And
I'm a big like Bob Lazar fan. I'm a big just overall I just think we, as humans, I think we're just restricted by our, our own short-sighted thinking and our own inability to see past ourselves, like in terms of what specks of sand we are. Not even, in terms of, and again, I think it's so arrogant. Again, to think that, again, we don't really know. It's kind of like existentialism. I'm more of an agnostic because I'm not so small-minded where I think there can't be anything, but I'm not so full of myself where I believe that I know what it is. Mm-hmm. I think it's far beyond our small comprehension. Right. That's why I think too, this life and death is just a transition. Mm-hmm. And we look at it as a finality, but it really isn't. This is all just a test.
I don't actually believe in death and birth.
It's a construct.
It's just the transitions from different places and time.
I am the exact same way. I don't believe. I think it's again the human construct of birth and death. I agree. Mm-hmm. That's not even a. It's just again the different.
If levels. I go before you, I'll come haunt your ass.
You'd be so fun.
And if you see a pair of garden shears going through, it's dead.
Deb, don't say that because you know what'll happen. Can you imagine? Because now it'll happen. I'll say, yeah, Deb. And same goes for you. But can you imagine? Hey, Deb, it's Bud. What are you doing? I know it's 3 a.m. Get up, Deb. Come on. There's a good movie on.
Shut up.
She's sage in her house. Get the fuck out of here, Bud.
I knew. Yeah, exactly. Deb, I don't like that. I don't like that smell of garlic. You have to move out of follow.
So, with that, such a large cast and the iconic characters, how did you know who to contact and how willing were they all to be like, I'll do it? I mean,
Corey Feldman.
Great question.
Corey Feldman, and I mean,
it's another one.
Yeah. It's I did a couple things. One, I really looked at who initially we started out with the Friday the 13th franchise. My producing partner and I, Joel Paul Reisig, had a little difference of opinion on what to do initially. He wanted to stick with only Friday the 13th. I wanted to expand into Halloween to get the 2 largest slasher franchises. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, though, in the end, we did stretch out to that with Dee Wallace, because as you know, she played Cynthia Strode in Halloween as well. Mm-hmm. So, as well as all the other ones that she's done. I mean, she's just an absolute horror icon. Mm-hmm. And brilliant to work with. And in her particular case, in Dee Wallace's case, she accepted as soon as she read the script. She's going, oh my gosh, why hasn't somebody else thought of this? And she said, yes, she was in. And we had a few more struggles in a couple other areas. Some people were a little bit more nervous. Here's another one.
Here's another one. We love it.
This is Scouty. He just got home. He had to come and say hi to Mom. So, he's a little Bashan. He's actually Daddy to the baby you just saw earlier.
Oh, okay.
But so Dee was on right away. CJ Graham, he was on fairly soon. Kane, we had to talk a few times before we got that one worked out. I did have more concerns from some of the female actresses, not everybody, because like Tracy Savage came on right away. But I wasn't asking people to come on and play a character who's being stalked. I asked them to come on and play themselves being stalked and possibly killed. It was more intimidating for me. And so that is actually one of the reasons why I decided I needed to be in the film as well. Mm-hmm. Initially, I had planned only to direct. And the first inkling of thinking about doing it was because my producing partner wanted me in the film. And he wanted to kill me, which is probably
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Something's not right here.
Right. Should I worry? Don't ask questions till the movie's over.
Right. So, everybody was a little bit different. It was intimidating for me because there's that little place in that back of your mind. You know, I'd never really vocalized it to anybody, but what if there was someone out there like that?
Mm-hmm.
And so when he suggested that, you know, this was our story, that was a little intimidating, that whole concept. But when I really thought about it, it was like, no, I do need to be in it. Because if I'm asking my friends and, you know, colleagues to do this with me, I need to take the jump and do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. And I'm really thrilled that I did. I'm glad I didn't let my anxiety and worries initially, they didn't last for long. Once I made the decision, I was full, you know, steam ahead. I didn't have any more reservations or worries. I took about 5 days of thinking hard about it. And then I was like, okay, put all that worry behind. Let's go full steam and get this baby done.
Well, this is, first of all, I want to say this is awesome. First of all, thank you for being so vulnerable, Deb. I think it's important for people out there because, look at Deb's human too. She had anxiety. She had worry. She had self-doubt. You know, we all do as humans, but the difference is she thought, she's actualized, she kind of figured some things out internally and weighed things and actually jumped instead of stopping at the cliff's edge and stopping because of fear. Mm-hmm. So everybody's the same in that way. It's just how you react to certain things. And if I could, Deb, it's so amazing because I understand your nervousness because as in some of the actors and actresses have had problems in the past with certain people.
Absolutely.
So I can see your reservation and I can see why. But in the end, when I see not just the women, but the men, but, you know, Lar Park Lincoln, Jennifer Banker, I found it more empowering in the end. You know, something that would empower more of a, no, I don't think so attitude as opposed to a victimization sort of thing. So it kind of morphed more into that. It is very cool and very empowering. And I applaud you for saying, getting to the cliff's edge and going, you know what? The two best words, Deb, you can sometimes say in life, fuck it, and jumped.
Jump. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. When that's one of my favorite things is to say, let's all hold hands and jump off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's funny because I always say that to Rand. Like whenever we're going to do a show, especially the band, I said, no matter what, we're arm in arm. No matter what, you're never going to fall because I'm right there to catch you. And we're vice versa always. So when you have that confidence and it's really family and you really do care and say, come on, arm in arm. No matter what, we're doing it together. Even if we go down, we're going down together. And there's pride in that. You know, there's pride. You know, if you try and fail, it's one thing. But if you fail to try, man, you can't look in the mirror.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it's about.
But I also say there's no room for failure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, you know, when you're making a film, there are 1,000 things that come up. Literally 1,000 things that happen that says this will never get off the ground. And you go, yeah, keep going.
Yep.
Right.
Push through it.
Put that aside, keep going. You know, once you make your final decision, I mean, I have started working toward a project, and then I just realized, okay, this isn't the right direction. I need to go a different direction. I was looking at doing a couple other different films at the time that we came up with the 13 Fanboy idea. Joel and I came up with it together. In fact, that's an interesting story. He was asking me why, you know, what it was like with horror fans. And I said, well, you know, horror fans are great. Mm-hmm. They're just fun to be around. They're, you know, they're like a bunch of grown-up kids who like to play dress up on Halloween. That's who they are. They love special effects. They're very respectful. They're very nice. So I love horror fans, and I love hanging out with them and visiting. And over the years, I have made true friends with many horror fans. We're really friends, not just somebody I know as acquaintance, but truly friends. Yeah. And he said, well, does anything ever weird, scary kind of happen? And I'm like, well, I said a couple things, but I said in the whole big scheme of thing, it's so minuscule. Mm-hmm. But he says, well, what happened? And I said, well, one time I was on Facebook and I get a message and it says, wouldn't it be cool if you died in real life like you died in Friday the 13th?
Oh my gosh.
Well, since you guys know I died with garden shears through my eyes, at 60 years old, but then I was younger then. I was 57 probably when we first started talking about this. I was just like, yeah, it's not really on my list of how I want to go.
Deb, how many times do I have to apologize for that? How many times do I have to apologize? I mean, how are you ever going to let me live that time? No, I did. It wasn't really me, folks. We wouldn't be doing the show right now. No, yeah, that is a little bit freaky.
You'd be in jail.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
I'd have a problem with that. I'd probably find the person. Rhiannon knows that.
Right. I blocked the person, and 3 weeks later, I don't know if it was the same person or not. I had always kind of assumed it was a different person, but given that it was 3 weeks later, it is possible it could have been the same person. And this time, I get a series of texts on my telephone, the cell phone. Sorry, brain went back a few years.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. My rotary phone. Go ahead.
But so I'm sitting there. I'm alone. It's dark, late at night. Obviously, if it's dark. I'm typing away on a script, and I get a ding on my phone. I take a quick look, and it says, "I'm watching you."
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay. And I had, the French doors, so they're how it's open to the outside, and I live away from a lot, and so it was dark out there and a single light where I was working. So somebody actually could have been watching me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And just as I was trying to figure out what to do, I get ding, ding, ding. And it was somebody pretending to be Jason.
Oh, geez.
He said he was there at my home to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I blocked that phone call, needless to say. And my producing partner, in the middle of telling him about this, he goes, "That's our story." Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm thinking pretend monster, some dead zombie lake comes up out of the grave, or, a Frankenstein creature type thing, nothing that's real.
Mm-hmm.
That can actually happen.
Right.
And so that's why it took me a little while, because, like I said, it took 5 days. And I just, as I realized, it was really making me uneasy and scaring me and stuff, it was like, I can scare people with this. I can scare people with this. So I jumped.
I'll thank you. I'll thank you on a personal level too, because again, as I know, I've told you, Deb, I'm working on a script right now. It's awesome that you say this, because with Chris Duran, who played Michael Myers in H2O, for the few that might not know, but thank you for opening up about that, because I'll just say the script is very emotional, and it's not a horror, and it's tense, and it's something I didn't expect, the emotional aspect,
right?
That I never ever anticipated. I just thought, oh, cool. We're going to do this, and we're going to jump in, but there's a massive emotional aspect when you do it right. That is really draining, literally, and it's literally been a process. And I'm so blessed to have Chris, because he understands it. Mm-hmm. So, and he kind of gets when I'm, because Rhiannon knows too, and I know Chris well enough. Now, as you said, some people become good friends. It doesn't matter to me if someone collects garbage or does movies. It's more of a soul thing. So if someone, and I know for Chris it's like that too. We had him on, and there was just some connection where we just human, this human connection, and we've just gone with it. But I've been so blessed, because he's been in this game, and he's also a very loving, empathetic, wonderful man. So when you talk about people in the horror community, that's one thing I feel so blessed, because it hasn't been an easy ride. And he's a very loving, comforting friend. Who's really, if I didn't have him.
That's the way it is with, most of our monsters, the stuntmen and actors and actresses that have played, the villains often turn out to be some of the most gentle, kind, loving people you'll ever meet.
Well, he's amazing, and I didn't expect to speak highly of what I usually try to get him to do is send me a PM during the show where he says, "Don't forget what you suck." Because he's not really like that. But we try to joke. He'll send me random texts during the show. Don't forget. Don't blow it. Don't blow it with Deb. You've looked forward to this for so long. I hope you don't blow it. Just joking like that. But no, he's genuinely a really good guy, and it's fun. But that was the whole point of my rambling is the emotional aspects.
Right.
I get it because I've had to kind of go back and say, do I really want to fucking do this? Is this worth it? This emotional torture? Is this, you know what I mean? And and in the end, it is. You have to keep pushing, and then that's what it is. You keep writing.
Right.
You keep writing. You keep, and that's what Chris tells me. Just dump it. We'll be in a meeting. I'm like, oh my god, Chris. Oh my god. He's like, all right, just shut up, bud. Go right. Shut up.
Tells you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what. He'll tell. Well, that's what. Well, no,
we can't be a theme here, bud.
Well, I know, and at 46 years old, it's been a theme my whole life. That's why I said, remember the other night, you're like, because I know Deb felt bad because I was so excited about the show. And I know Deb a little, so I'll ramble, but she's like, all right, bud, just type me the time and day. And I know what that means.
Just give me the day and time.
Well, no, what it was too, Rhiannon, I didn't realize it was so late too. I'm like, oh. So Deb's like, hugs. And I wrote, Deb, I totally get it. Love you, whatever. She's like, and she wrote big hugs in capitals because I know she's like, I feel bad, but I had to shut the fuck up. But I know Deb well enough to where she felt bad, but she's like, I do, but I love my sleep more than I feel bad. But shut up.
So speaking of writing, since you are a writer, you wrote a book called Memoirs of a Hitman.
Yes.
Is that based on a real hitman or is it fiction?
It is. It actually, I talked to over time. I used to be a journalist with the Dallas Morning News, and there were, over that period that I was working there, although it didn't have anything to do with being at the Dallas Morning News, it was unrelated. I interviewed 3 different government assassins. And so while it's a fictional account, it's taken from very true life situations. And I tried to build the character based on these men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
If I could ask you on a side note, Deb, I know that obviously the connection with you and Tracy Savage, because she did Friday 3 from 82.
Right.
But was it also the news connection? Because I know she's a newscaster too. Did you have a connection there?
Right. We actually had not spoken prior to doing 13 Fanboy. When I researched it, I looked at who were some of the most popular characters from the franchise. Of course, her name popped up. I knew about her news background, and so I was very impressed with that. I mean, she's covered major cases. In fact, if you'll notice in 13 Fanboy, we utilized that because not only was she a broadcast newscaster, but she also teaches broadcasting. We talk about in the film that she actually covered O.J. Simpson, the O.J. Simpson trial. And that was part of it. Each character, even though they were playing a fictional version of themselves, they needed to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And so for each person, I tried to write in something that fit that person's personality. And some things from their real life. Like with Kane, if you'll notice that in that really emotional scene with Jennifer talking about his father, that is a true story about his dad. Oh, wow. So each person I tried to weave something in there, that was true to who they are.
Well,
so did you notice then, since you were touching on things that really have happened or personal stories, was there a lot of emotion going on set as far as them diving into things that have really happened? Did anything get super emotional while they were filming?
Absolutely. In fact, the really dramatic scene with Kane, everybody on the crew felt emotional about it. Many people, were teary-eyed. They realized very quickly that it was a true story. Mm-hmm. And Kane had come to me and he said, I would like to film this one more time and I want to add in something. He told me privately. And I said, go for it. And, there were several things that he changed up, how it was said to fit more what he would say and how he felt about things. And, it ended up being brilliant. The irony, though, is that I've had fans sit there going, oh, Kane Hodder wouldn't say that. He wouldn't act like that. He's a big, tough guy. And I'm like, guys, you're talking about the character he plays.
Right.
Exactly.
Kane, the man, has pains and sorrows like all of us.
Right. Right. Well, and I think it's awesome that you allowed him to do that. It's great for Kane because, again, everyone has that expectation, but he was able to flex that range a little bit. Really, to have and have it organic like that is where it really works.
Right. Right.
When you're playing your own character, I think to have that sort of organic, real, that's the way. That's how to get it out. And I applaud you for letting them do that, and the actors for having the vulnerability to do that, because you're basically proverbially getting naked. You're putting your soul out there, which is I give credit to Kane and all the actors that have done that, because that is the most hard to put your soul in vulnerability and say, here it is, I'm human, I cry, because especially as someone like Kane or someone who's a masculine, their masculinity is kind of what they're known for,
right?
But isn't who they are. To be able to put your actual soul out there and say, hey, I have range, man, and not just range, but I have more to me than just. I'm also a loving person. I hurt too.
Right.
So awesome.
And to revisit the pain as well. It's like a lot of people try to put it back and not go through it again.
Right.
To revisit what hurts and what experiences you've had.
Well, and there it is too, Deb and Rhiannon too, is how many people are going to see Kane open up and know that's him playing him and go, you know what?
Right.
I can cry too. Mm-hmm. Like, I can hurt too. It's okay.
Well, and he is actually a very talented actor.
Yeah.
And so that whole scene too, talking about, that Hollywood hasn't always given him the roles he wanted. They see him as the silent killer. That's Kane. And, once again, I just had to laugh when somebody would say, well, Kane wouldn't say that. Kane wouldn't act like that. I'm like,
it's so funny because
you're confusing the character with.
Well, again, it's funny too because again, I hate to mention Chris. So I told Chris I'd try not to mention him. I'd try to let him just fade away. But it's the same thing. Like, Chris is a phenomenal actor, a heartfelt, amazing actor, and people, most people know him as Ghostface from Scream or Michael Myers, but the man has such heart in what he does, and he's such an amazingly
loving and
loving and emotion-filled writer. Like, it's cool that Kane could do that too. I know that a lot of actors, they really just long for that, to put it up there. And I will say, Ron, when we had Ron Sloan on, man, you have given all these actors that such a treat because I know it's meant so much.
Ron Sloan did a brilliant job. He played Dee Wallace's husband. And the two of them worked lovely together.
He loves her.
He really, the two of them, the chemistry was there. I've had more than one person ask, oh gosh, I didn't know they were married. No, they're not.
Right, because they were so good. Yeah,
right.
That's a compliment. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Ron's a really wonderful person.
We had him on, I think, the week before you guys were having the premiere. So he was all excited about the premiere and was giving lots of love to you and Dee Wallace.
Oh yeah, it was such a thrill for him. And I've gotten to know Ron on a personal level too over that time, since a little before the show and then after. He's the sweetest guy, but I told him we were having you on. I talked to him the other night. I said, Ron, I don't know if Deb saw the show, but I'm going to tell her that we had to try it. When you first came on, you weren't wearing any pants, and that you were really. I said I was going to try and make up all this stuff that when I first approached you, I said, hey, Mr. Sloan, would you like to come on? And flipped out at me and said, you call me Junior, God damn it. And he said, you have to make something up to make me more interesting. I said, well, Ron, you're perfectly simply interesting just the way you are. So,
Exactly.
but no, in all seriousness, people like him, you gave a gift. And to the fans, especially during the hiatus with the lawsuit and everything else, there were people craving it. And they didn't just get Jason, they got a whole slew, Laura Clark Lincoln, Jennifer Banco, the whole slew of people, awesome actors. And of course, they got Deborah Voorhees, too. Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is very, very, very off topic, but I just want to say your skin is so beautiful. I'm just like staring at him.
Oh,
God, your skin is just
really?
so nice. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
It's completely random, but I've just been thinking that. Just want to tell you.
I haven't.
Thank you.
I haven't seen. Rhiannon is big on skin. I will say, Rhiannon, I must say you're right.
Yeah.
You have gorgeous skin. I don't really know what to look for.
And so
Because
pretty.
but it looks
you.
great. It's not melting off, I guess, so that's good. I mean, as a guy, I don't know what makes it. Yeah, it's good. There's no big boils or anything. You look great. Sure.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
See, that's sometimes all you can hope for. It's not to have oils and stuff.
Right. No, you're beautiful, Deb. No, you are beautiful. Inside, no, honestly. And I got to say, Deb, too, to the people out there, and I know I said it behind the scenes, but I'll say, when I first started doing like podcast radio years ago, and I said, it was around Halloween time, I said, I hadn't done really interviewed any actors or anything. I said, but I had a connection with Deb and with Larry Zerg. And I will say, I went to some different people. I went to Deb and Larry, and Deb and Larry were the first ones out of nowhere said yes, like I'll give you the shot. And it took some convincing. No, it didn't. They were both very accommodating. So I want to thank you, Deb, because I was so nervous 6 years ago, whatever it was, and you said yes to a nobody, and it's really springboarded, to a lot of things that I've done. And I really have you to owe for that, a lot of it, because you said, yes, I believe in it. I believe in your heart. There was that kind of connection where you said, yeah, there's something here. Go ahead. And so thank you so much. I owe you. I love you. And someday I told you I'm going to give you that big hug and that chicken marsala meal. And I'm not even going to bring any shears. It's just going to be the hug.
I'll be the one with the garden shears.
And there you go. Yeah. She opens the door. I'm like, Deb, you know what? I'll see you later. Here's the dinner. I'm going to go, big tough bud. I'm running off. Yeah.
Don't you ruin that skin, bud.
No, but honestly, thank you. And thanks for coming on. It was awesome. I was so excited when you said you'd come on. I ran down the hall, and my wife was in the bedroom. She said, what? I said, what's going on? She jumped up. What's going on? I said, Deb's coming back on. I'm so excited. And I was just on cloud nine. I was walking around the house, but I wasn't hitting the floor. I was just floating. And I have been since right now. So thank you so much for coming on. We love you so much.
Nice. Well, you're welcome. And thank you, though, for having me. I really am honored and appreciate both of you guys spending some time with me. It's really nice.
Of course.
It's been our
so
pleasure.
Excited and
Absolutely.
happy. So real quick, if there's any shout outs that you want to give or anything, or where to check you out or any certain websites.
Oh, sure. Well, one big thing, 13 Fanboy is out. It came out on October 22nd. You can see it on several platforms. We have, Vudu. We have iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Xbox. I'm not sure if it's still on the pay-per-view channels or not, but that was like Comcast, Charter, that sort of thing. So there's lots of places out there that you can watch it. DVDs are coming out on March 8th, and you can pre-purchase them on Amazon. I believe Walmart, you can also pre-purchase them there as well, but they'll also be on Target online and on Barnes & Noble and several other places too.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and you're so sweet and so beautiful. And tell your husband happy birthday.
I will.
Yes, thank him so much for letting you come on here. And again, happy birthday, sir. I hope you guys have a great night. And stay safe, Deb. I love you. Thank you very much.
Love you guys too. Take care. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
We'll go ahead and wrap it up with our shout out. So if you want to go ahead and go first.
Oh, Rhiannon, you're so kind to me. You're so sweet. Age before beauty. Is that how we're doing it? Oh, good. So good. So shout out. First of all, the one, the only Rhiannon Nicole. I love you so much, kid. On the show and off, I love you, BFF. Thank you for always being there. I mean, I feel so blessed. Man, I feel blessed. Every day it gets better and better with the fine wine. My wife, Allison, I love you, baby. Thank you for being born, my 2 boys. And my littlest Mason, we're going to have some buddy time tonight. He's just, I think we might watch Commando from 1985. We have a lot of just movies. We spend the time together. We're actually in the middle of a giant blizzard. We're actually not supposed to. We're in the middle of getting hammered with snow. And I said, I'm still going to do the show. Yes. Short of us losing power or the roof caving in, but even if the roof caved in, I'll be part of the show. I'm like, hey, whatever happens, happens. That's supposed to be. What a way to start off having this show. It's been so great. Man, I feel blessed. So to my in-laws, Phyllis and Joe, I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support. You guys are amazing. John Mondu, I have to just smile because I always give Johnny Mondu a shout out. We got to love Johnny Mondu, my Brook Village crew. Jeremy Roberts, John Wood, everybody out there. Some guy also I mentioned earlier, Duran something, Michael Myers something, Chris Duran. Dickhead. My man, Chris Duran, the one, the only. I love you, buddy. Thank you. I said, yeah, we love you, Chris. There's a gentleman out there named Ronnie Cohen. Ronnie, I told Ronnie I'd give him a shout out. I've known Ronnie for quite a few years now. Awesome guy. Love you, buddy. Love you, Ronnie. Everybody, Lori Damon out there, who I grew up with. I love Lori. Lori, we have such great memories of walking home from the school bus as kids, and I feel so blessed. We still reminisce about that now. 30 years later, laugh about certain things. Great. Chip Ouellette out there, awesome dude out there. Chip Ouellette. Chip, I love you, buddy. Jeff Cody, Sandy Frazier, Brian Emery, my old teacher at my high school, who's now the assistant principal out there. Had a nice conversation with Mr. Emery. I still call him Mr. Emery. He says, call me Brian. That's what it's hard for Mr. He actually really encouraged my writing when I was younger, so I had a conversation with him recently to tell him that I loved him and to thank him for that. After 30 years, I said, it's important that I get a hold of you, Mr. Emery, and tell you and thank you for doing that and explain how things are going now, and that he was one of the few that believed in me and really pushed me to keep writing, keep believing in myself, so I think it was important to tell him that. I try to do that. I like to tell people when they're assholes and when they're good people. And he's good people. So thank you, Mr. Emery. Sergeant Jamie out there at Tamworth Police Department. My buddy Rick Bartley, I went to college. He was my college roommate. His brother from another mother. Yeah, I got a hold of Ricky. We talked recently. We're going to visit soon. We were on the same hockey team in college, kicked some ass together. He actually went through some of my stitches. The doctor let him come in when I got a puck in the face. So he would, it actually went right through my face. I had to get stitches on the inside and the out. And Ricky was right there talking shit the whole time. He's like, pussy. He's like, okay. He goes, that hurts, doesn't it? Doctor, then he was talking shit. Well, he's talking shit the whole time. I'm getting stitched. I love it too. I had to be a man, but look at him now. It doesn't feel nothing. More Novocaine, please. That hurts like a motherfucker. No, that's good. So love you, Rick. Everybody out there. Ken Arnold, Dan Franco, Dan DeLuca, Jamie Nash, Mitch Wilson, Brandon Brooks, who we're going to have on the show soon, Rhiannon.
Yes.
I mentioned Brandon. You lit up. Definitely have him on the show soon.
Yes.
So again, Todd Jenkins, Mark Ludwig, Americans People Shared Parenting, Ron Sloan. We love you, Ron. Butch Patrick, a.k.a. Eddie Munster, who's working on The Munsters with Rob Zombie right now. Absolutely. Our man, Dan Ferrens. Everybody out there, go check out Dan's got a slew of movies. Keep coming out. Awesome stuff for Dan. Tammy Clegg, Jeremy Roberts, everybody out there again at my BBC. Chins up. It ain't over till you say it's over. And I ain't heard no bell. And that includes Mr. Ryan Brochu, Daddy's Fight Canada, and the adopted father of Sinister Parlor podcast, his father, Stormin Norman. We love you guys. Everybody out there, chins up again. It ain't over till you say it's over. And we ain't heard no bell. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. All right.
Brandon.
Me. It's so funny because I haven't done shout outs in so long. And it's weird because you're I don't want to forget anybody. But you are always number one that I want to thank. I love you so much. You're my best friend in the entire world. You're there for me through everything, whether it's show related or personal related. I talk to you every single day. You talk me through things. You help me. I love you so much, and I can't imagine my life without you. So I appreciate everything that you do for me and being my sidekick and my partner on this, because without you, this wouldn't be happening. So I love you, and I love Allison and the boys. I love your family so much. So thank you.
Get me choked up, kid. I love you too.
You. My Indie Productions, Ty Guberman, I want to thank him so much for all of the support and always promoting us. Make sure you check out myindieproductions.com, where you'll see tons of artists, indie artists, He works really hard to get everybody promoted and keep the spotlight on people and show their projects and just show him love as well. He has a thing on there, buy me a coffee. It's $5. It helps to promote and keep it where he can have the page running. Amazing man. We do need to have him on actually because he's just
absolutely yes,
incredible. You mentioned Brandon Brooks. I want to thank Brandon Brooks as well. He has a movie coming out called Ill. I had a small part in that, and he's such a cool dude. So check it out when it comes out. Check out his social media pages, and you'll get to kind of see the updates. He's got some great people in there. Sir Sturdy with Horror with Sir Sturdy. He's the first podcast I ever did was with him, and so that's what got me into this. Check him out. He's always got shows coming out, so check him out. He's awesome. Always been a supporter. Tarot cards. Check that out. I am going to be on the new deck, so check it out. Stephen Chang is the one that put it together. Women of Darkness magazine, and I believe Women of Darkness has a Facebook page as well. So he's updating it, and so is Women of Darkness. There's a lot of horror women in this deck, so check it out for sure. I believe you can pre-order it. I'm super, super honored that he asked me to be a part of it. So thank you, Stephen. Also check out my books, Broken Halo Blood Curse, Broken Halo Witches Game, and then a book that's not part of the series, but it's called His Soul to Keep. Those are all published by Crazy Ink Publishing, all available on Amazon or any book platforms. Check that out. Order, please, because I worked really hard to write those books. And then with that, I am done.
And I will say, Rand, in closing, for the people, we've been getting quite the uptick in emails to the show. People wanting to come on. Keep them coming. If we don't get back to you right away, we're pretty backed up. So, and that's an honor and a good problem to have. But keep them coming. Mm-hmm. We're booking out quite a bit. So if we don't get back to you right away, we will get to you. We're not being rude. So keep them coming. Yes. Thank you. And again, thank you to, ultimately, for this show, to Miss Deborah Voorhees. Thanks for coming on, Deb. Yeah, we love you. And to everybody out there, again, thanks for tuning in, Rhiannon. You are the best. You're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep us down. We love you guys. Thanks again. Right. Chins up.